You ever wake up, stare at the ceiling, and think, wait, we're doing this again? Like life just hit the repeat button and forgot to warn you? And then your brain shows up with that buffering GIF energy. Loading, purpose, error. People say life is short, but some days it feels like life is a software update you didn't ask for. Slow, buggy, and impossible to skip. If you've ever felt like your soul is running on empty, your brain's on autopilot, and the world expects you to keep going anyway, congratulations. You're about to feel seen. Let's be real for a second. You're not just tired. You're existentially exhausted. There's a difference. Tired is when you pull an all-nighter binge watching something dumb. Existential exhaustion? That's when you did sleep properly, but wake up feeling like you accidentally signed up for life's most confusing subscription service, and now you're stuck paying the monthly fee. You know that feeling when you brush your teeth, stare into the mirror, and suddenly start questioning the entire purpose of toothpaste, mornings, and whether the sun even cares about you. Yep, that's your brain sending an error 404, motivation not found message. You're tired of people asking, so, what are you doing with your life, when your main goal today was just to survive until lunch? You're tired of productivity gurus shouting, wake up at 5 a.m. and conquer the world, while you're trying to figure out if you've showered yet. You're tired of pretending to have long-term plans when your brain's internal GPS keeps saying, recalculating, recalculating. And here's the kicker, you're not lazy. If someone handed you a clear roadmap to meaning, progress, and slightly less emotional chaos, you'd follow it like a caffeine-fueled squirrel. Instead, you're stuck in that weird loop, wanting change but also wanting to lie face down on the floor for 6 hours. Craving progress, but your brain is like, nah, we'll think about it tomorrow. And tomorrow rolls in wearing the same outfit. If any of this feels like your autobiography, congratulations, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're just a normal human brain, overclocked, underappreciated, and running on too many invisible apps at once. And honestly, that's okay, because recognizing this is the first step toward actually feeling alive again. Here's where most people completely miss the point, and it's actually kind of hilarious when you think about it. When someone feels tired of existing, society jumps in with the worst advice possible. Your soul quietly whispers, "Help me." And the world responds with, "Have you tried drinking more water?" Yes, Karen. Hydration is wonderful, but it's not going to magically fix the fact that my brain feels like it's been running Windows 95 on an emotional hamster wheel. Then there's the classic, just be positive. As if existential exhaustion is a software bug and optimism is the patch update. Imagine a doctor saying, "Oh, your arm is broken? Just think happy thoughts." Genius. And my personal favorite, "You're just overthinking." Oh wow, thank you. I hadn't considered that maybe, just maybe, my brain is overthinking. Groundbreaking. But the biggest mistake? Treating existential exhaustion like laziness. People think, I just need more discipline. I just need more motivation. I need to fix my entire personality by tomorrow. Meanwhile, your brain isn't lacking discipline. It's lacking alignment, a real, meaningful connection between what you're doing and what actually matters to you. And what happens when people lack alignment? They try everything at once. They download 14 productivity apps, watch 73 life hack videos, buy notebooks they'll never use, and plan to reinvent their entire life in one weekend. Then they fail. And failing at fixing yourself somehow makes you feel even more tired. Congratulations. Now you're stuck in the ultimate existential loop. The truth is, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You're just running the wrong strategy on the wrong problem. And this is why most advice fails, because it treats the symptoms, tiredness, procrastination, lack of motivation, rather than the actual underlying problem, misalignment, decision fatigue, and invisible emotional weight. Once you understand that, everything changes. Suddenly, you stop blaming yourself. Suddenly, you realize there's a smarter way to regain energy, focus, and motivation, without pretending life is a motivational poster. Here's the truth nobody really tells you. When you feel tired of existing, it's rarely about laziness or lack of effort. It's about misalignment. You're not exhausted because you're not working hard enough. You're exhausted because your actions, goals, and daily routines don't match what actually matters to you. Deep down, What you really want isn't a productivity hack or a motivational speech. You want clarity. You want control. You want to feel like your life belongs to you, not to someone else's checklist or society's expectations. You want progress that you can see. You want small wins that feel meaningful. You want to wake up in the morning with even a tiny reason to care. In short, you're not tired of life. You're tired of the version of life you've been living. And the moment you understand that, you stop blaming yourself, start noticing the tiny opportunities for change, and suddenly the idea of living doesn't feel like running on empty anymore. All right, let's get into the heart of this whole tired of existing souffle. Here's the main principle, the one that explains 90% of why people feel exhausted, drained, and generally like life is a glitchy video game. You're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're living out of alignment. What does alignment even mean? Don't worry, it's not some yoga instructor, $200 per session nonsense. Think of it this way. Your life is a smartphone. Some apps are necessary, like email or that weird budgeting app you never actually use. Some apps are fun, Instagram, TikTok. And some apps? They're silently running in the background, draining your battery, making you slow, cranky, and slightly emotional without permission. Your brain works the same way. You're tired because you're thinking about things you can't control. You're fighting battles you don't even care about. You're forcing yourself into roles that don't fit. You're carrying expectations that aren't yours. It's like wearing shoes 2 sizes too small. Sure, you can walk, but eventually, you hate walking itself. Alignment is basically living according to your own system, not someone else's, not society's, not the imaginary checklist in your head. You feel alive when your actions match your values. Your progress matches your personality. Your goals match your identity. When they don't match, exhaustion, burnout, existential fatigue, guaranteed. Example, imagine you're naturally introspective, creative, or sensitive, but the world keeps yelling, hustle harder, move faster, do more. So you try to live as a high-speed productivity machine when your brain is more like a Ferrari engine trapped in a 1998 Toyota body. No wonder you're tired. Or maybe you're a practical, cautious person being told to dream big, manifest everything, overnight success, go. And now you're chasing giant goals with no internal alignment. Exhaustion City. Here's the flip side. Ever notice how you can stay awake until 3 a.m. working on something you actually love, but feel wiped out after 20 minutes of something meaningless? That's alignment. Your brain gives unlimited fuel when it believes the destination matters. Second cause of existential exhaustion, no feedback loop. You're doing things, but you can't see progress. Humans are wired to feel motivated by visible wins. If your life feels like same day, different font, constant effort, zero reward, busy but unfulfilled, moving but never arriving, your brain shuts down motivation like power-saving mode. Third cause, decision fatigue. You don't notice it, but your brain is making 900 micro-decisions every day. Do I reply now or later? Should I eat? Should I start this project or scroll TikTok for 20 more minutes? Every micro-decision drains your mental battery. People tired of existing aren't lazy. They're exhausted from constantly managing life. Fourth cause, unprocessed emotions. Emotions have storage limits. Ignore them long enough, and they don't disappear. They run in the background, eating energy. Guilt, frustration, shame, fear of falling behind, fear of failing, fear of disappointing people. It's like jogging with a fridge strapped to your back. No wonder walking through life feels heavy. Fifth cause, the identity loop. Many people get trapped in the psychological identity loop. I feel exhausted, I can't do anything. I feel useless, I feel more exhausted. Round and round it goes. Breaking this loop doesn't need superhuman motivation. It just requires one small, visible win. A tiny victory that reminds your brain you're not stuck. Tiny wins equals momentum. Humans don't thrive on pure willpower. They thrive on momentum. Example, you clean one corner of your room. You finish one task. You reply to one message you've been putting off. Boom. Your brain now sees, okay, we can move. Suddenly, the existential weight lifts slightly. Momentum, motivation. Always. A visual analogy. Imagine a car. You're trying to drive uphill with the parking brake on, engine misfiring, tires flat. Exhausting, right? That's your life out of alignment. Now imagine releasing the parking brake, fixing the tires, and turning on the fuel injection. Not a supercar yet, but life feels easier. You move. You see progress. You breathe. That's what alignment and micro wins do. The takeaway: existential exhaustion isn't about laziness or lack of effort. It's about misalignment, living according to someone else's rules, invisible emotional weight, unprocessed feelings draining energy, decision fatigue, too many choices, too little mental battery, lack of momentum, doing things without visible progress. Fix those, and life stops feeling like autopilot. Life stops feeling like a software glitch. Life starts feeling yours again. And here's the kicker: this isn't theory. This works in practice. With tiny adjustments, micro wins, and alignment, even the most exhausted people can start feeling alive again, without insane routines or motivational pep talks. Picture this: it's Monday morning. Your alarm goes off at 7 a.m., but your soul hits the snooze button until 9:45. You finally roll out of bed like a retired pirate, hair sticking up in directions that defy physics, and promise yourself, today, I'm going to fix my entire life. Step 1. Make coffee. Step 2. Stare at the coffee while questioning whether life is actually worth living or if this is just a long, caffeinated dream. Step 3. Sit at your desk. Step 4. Open YouTube for motivation. Because clearly, fixing your life requires watching someone else pretend to have theirs together first. Suddenly, it's 11 a.m. and all you've accomplished is developing a deep emotional connection to your mug. You tell yourself, okay, enough. Time to work, and open your to-do list. It reads: fix my life, become productive, organize everything, build the future, call mom. You look at the list. Your brain responds, ha 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 ha, nice try. So naturally, you lie on the floor staring at the ceiling again, contemplating why humans can't hibernate like bears. Then your friend texts, bro, just be disciplined. You stare at the phone, blinking, thinking, yes, thank you. I'll just summon motivation out of thin air while simultaneously fixing world peace and learning 3 new languages. By 4 p.m., you've eaten snacks, scrolled Instagram, and started thinking deeply about the meaning of toast. By 6 p.m., you're exhausted from doing nothing productive at all. And yet, somehow, you feel guilty for not achieving anything. This scene is funny because it's painfully real. Millions of people live this cycle every single day, not because they're failures, but because life out of alignment, decision fatigue, and invisible emotional weight is exhausting. The key takeaway? Recognizing this loop is the first step toward breaking it. Once you understand why your brain keeps sabotaging you, you can finally take small, meaningful actions that don't require hero-level motivation, actions that gradually shift momentum, align your life, and restore your energy. And that, my friend, is where the real change begins. All right, enough theory, let's fix this. Here's a simple, practical roadmap to start feeling less tired of existing, without turning your life upside down. Step 1. Pick one priority. Not 10 goals, not 5 habits, just one thing that matters most to you right now. Something so small your brain can't argue with it. Maybe it's finishing a task you've been avoiding, or even just making your bed every morning. Tiny, visible progress is magic. Step 2. Do it at the same time every day. Routine is your secret weapon. Your brain loves predictability. If it knows at 9 a.m., I tackle this one thing, half the resistance disappears. Decision fatigue drops, and suddenly life feels doable. Step 3. Remove one energy drain. Not everything, just one. A toxic chat, an unnecessary commitment, a social media spiral. Pick one thing that steals your energy and remove it. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel. Step 4. Add one tiny win. Momentum motivation. Do something small, easy, and visible. Check it off. That one win tells your brain, hey, progress is possible, and slowly pulls you out of the exhaustion loop. Step 5. Talk to yourself like a teammate. Stop bullying yourself for being lazy or not enough. You're not a machine, you're human. Be encouraging, patient, and supportive. Your inner dialogue matters more than any productivity hack. Step 6. Optional but powerful: track your wins. Keep a tiny journal or note on your phone. Every small win counts. Seeing progress builds momentum and reminds you that you can move forward, even if it's just a little each day. Remember, This isn't about giant leaps or overnight transformations. It's about tiny, consistent steps that realign your life, rebuild momentum, and restore energy. Do one thing today, then another tomorrow. Suddenly, you're no longer just existing. You're living. Here's a simple trick to lock all of this into your brain. I call it the micro-character shift. Every morning, instead of trying to completely transform into new super productive you, just shift into 1% better version of yourself. That's it. Tiny, manageable, no pressure. Ask yourself, what would 1% better me do today? Not 100%. Not perfect. Just slightly upgraded. 1% better me might. Drink water before coffee. Reply to one message you've been avoiding. Clean a corner of the room. Work for 5 focused minutes instead of procrastinating for 5 hours. It sounds tiny because it is, but your brain anchors to it. Over time, these micro shifts create momentum without feeling overwhelming. Do this for a week and your brain starts asking, what if we try 2%? Suddenly, small wins compound. Momentum builds. Alignment improves. Energy comes back. The key here, consistency beats intensity. Micro improvements reinforce identity without triggering resistance. It's like leveling up in a game, one tiny XP point at a time. Except the game is life, and the rewards are way more satisfying than any loot box. Try it for 7 days. That single habit becomes a mental anchor, reminding you that progress doesn't have to be giant to matter. So, if you've been feeling tired of existing, here's the bottom line. You're not broken. You're not failing at life. You're just carrying too much, aiming too high, and trying to do it all at once. The good news? You don't need a massive transformation to start feeling better. Tiny wins, micro adjustments, and living in alignment with what actually matters to you are enough to start regaining energy and momentum. One priority, one small win, 1% better version of yourself at a time. That's how real change happens. Remember, progress isn't about being perfect. It's about moving in the right direction, even if it's just a little each day. Your brain will notice. Your energy will come back. And suddenly, life won't feel like autopilot anymore. It'll feel like yours. If this video made you feel understood or gave you even one small insight, that's already a win. Stick around, subscribe for more content like this, or check out the next video. It's designed to help you take life one thoughtful, aligned step at a time. You've got this. Seriously.